Hello, everyone, and welcome to another Stamping with Sarah live on Saturday. I hope that I am live. I'm not coming up live on my video, but it says I'm live. Still saying at 12:30. Can someone leave a message if you see me? Oh, yeah, there, I see people on now. There we go. Oh, my goodness. I don't know why it doesn't pop up on my iPad fast enough. But hello, everyone. Happy afternoon on a Saturday. My name is Sarah Simon. For those of you who do not know me, I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator. And usually it's a little more seamless than that. But all of a sudden, I couldn't see it on my iPad. It was saying I was live here. I could see that there were people who were making comments, but it said nobody was watching. So I think it's just that because there's a delay, that must be why it is. But I'm so happy you are with me here today. The catalog is live. Yay! So what I'm going to do is I'm going to walk up through the catalog and I'm just going to go through a few things. I know some people did not like the new catalog, so I'm just going to kind of point out a few things that helped me to like it a little bit better once I noticed it. So let me say my hellos. I grabbed a wrap right before, a half a wrap that I had left over from yesterday from lunch. And I feel like I have spinach between my teeth. Isn't that funny? Okay. Hello, Melanie and Joan and Mary and Kelly and Betty and Julie and Amanda and Kay and Mary and Karen and I said hello, Diane. I'm so glad that you are all with me here today. I have some happy mail to share with you. I received a few things. Oh, and I think I forgot to grab. I'm gonna have to go grab one that's in my. Everybody was oohing and eyeing about over it in my kitchen during my card buffets. But look at this beautiful card. I don't think that I showed this last week. This I received from Debbie Peters. She was thanking me for her birthday gift. Isn't that gorgeous with that butterfly along with the lavender? And I love that dearest friend. It's so pretty. And then I received this a couple weeks ago and I forgot to share it. This is from a paper pumpkin. This is from Cindy Winkleman. She was thanking me. She was going through a rough time and she's going through a rough time again. I feel just awful for her, but I had picked up some soup for her and had given that to her and she was thanking me for that. And I will get the other card at the end. I'll remember to go and grab that so that you can see it. It is from Kay Vaneprin and it uses the the bird, the airy from the celebration, the birds, and it uses the perennial postage. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful cards. So, yay, Diane, getting a chance to watch live. It is gorgeous here in Wisconsin today. It's a little windy. We were talking this morning, it's been a super windy spring for some reason. We've had a lot of wind on days where it's like absolutely gorgeous and then it's like, but it's super windy. So when you're walking and stuff, it's like, all that's blowing either in your face or your ears, and that's kind of crazy. So let's give away some prizes before we turn and stamp. So I have my list over here. So last week we made this fun fold. It was a gate fold, and the lights are not doing it any justice here. So it was the country floral set, and we also used the whole suite of product because we used the country birdhouse. You guys helped me with picking some of the colors on that one. I did put this one in my card buffet, and it was the most popular card. These are going to Therese Ramit. And Therese, I do not have your address. So if you could send me an email at createwithsarahllc@gmail.com, or you could also put it in a private message to me, instant message me through Facebook. I would be happy to get these out in the mail if I can get your address. So congratulations to you and thank you all for your comments. Oh, Betty, it's getting cloudy and dark here. I know we're supposed to get rain too, and I have a feeling it's coming, but it's not here yet. So I'm enjoying the sunshine yet. All right, Then for sharing. So if you share on Facebook or you share on email it to somebody or you share anywhere, however you might share the link to this video, your name also gets put into a drawing. I do ask that you indicate in a comment somewhere that you did share, only because I can't see who has shared. I can only see how many people have shared. Okay, so receiving, these were out of stock for a really, really long time, and they're finally back in. So I decided to get some because people have been waiting. This is with the zinnia. These are the sequins. They're called adhesive back shiny sequins. And these are going to Linda Mune. So Linda, I will get these off in the mail to you. Thank you for all of you who shared. Hello, Kay. And then for placing an order. So anytime you place an order, I do have a host code. So if your order is, let me get to that. If your order is under $150, if you could use that host code, that helps me to get host prizes for you. But if it's $150 or over, you qualify for your own benefits then. And so you can go ahead and you could use those hostess benefits. So, and I don't know if you have this, the person who's winning this. So if you do, just send me a message and let me know before I put it in the mail to you. This Comforting Thoughts is one of my favorite word stamp sets. It's in the online exclusives. It has some awesome greetings in here. This is going to, let me look, I have to switch the page here. Kathy Kessler. So Kathy placed her order either late last night or this morning. So Kathy, this is going off to you. So congratulations to you. All right, I'm going to set this stuff aside. You know what happened last week? This is funny, but not funny. I'll take this off of here. So remember how I was so far ahead? I said, I have the envelopes printed. They're all ready to go off. All I have to do is throw the stuff in the envelopes, get it off in the mail. I'm going to get this off. I did. They got out in the mail on Saturday. The only problem, I hadn't cleared my desk completely from everything that I had done for my live. And so I grabbed the cards and I threw them in the envelope. I didn't look that closely at them. I just made sure I had the correct envelope, put it in the envelope, grabbed whatever the prize was. I think it was ribbon maybe. Grabbed that, put it in the envelope, sealed it up, grabbed the stamp set, put it in the envelope, sealed it up, got them out to the post office. Yeah, I would have sent my birdhouse stamp set with the dies to the person. The only problem is none of the stamps were in it because they were over here because I had used them and they were all on blocks. And all of a sudden, the next day, I see the stamp set that's supposed to go to Denise and it has Denise's name on it. And I'm like, but I sent that. And then I'm looking to cut the birdhouses for my card buffet and they weren't there. And I cleaned everything and I'm like, they're not here. I think Denise has my birdhouse. She did. 3 days later, she let me know I could come and pick it up and exchange it for her real prize. So I'm going to be a little more careful with my prizes. All right, let me go ahead and change cameras. And then I will turn my overhead light off. While I was up, I went and grabbed that card. So I'll share this card with you first. So this is the card that I got from Kay Van Eperen with that bird set. So she cut out the paper in the postage, cut out a bigger postage, and then layered them. And then this is also designer paper. Isn't that beautiful? So that was a thank you card that she had sent to me. Kay Van Eperen did that. Okay, now I don't have to remember that at the end. All right, the catalog is live. So we are going to do 2 suites that were not pre-orders. I expedited my order, so I got it yesterday. And so I made them this morning. I quickly opened them up so that I could share with you. So a couple of things. Stampin' Up! Changed a little bit. So there's 3. If you look at the table of contents, this is where it finally made sense to me why they created the catalog this way. They're trying to attract a variety of different stampers. So you have the person who doesn't want to have a craft room in their house and doesn't want to have to buy a lot of things, but they enjoy making it. That's kind of the step-by-step crafting. Or you have the quick and easy, someone who doesn't have a whole lot of time, but I want to be able to grab something really quick and be able to go. And then you have your more avid stamper, the one who's got the craft room and way too much designer series paper and everything that comes out, they end up having to get, like me. And so they really have tried to tailor it to 3 different areas so that they can attract different people with the products that they have. So the step-by-step are going to be your kits. So in here we see all of the different kits, and those, again, all of those are actually online, and the paper pumpkin. So they just tell you about that. The quick and easy are some of the note cards and things like this. They give you the top 10 things that you should get. So if you're a new stamper, where should I kind of focus? So get something with some greetings, get maybe a punch that you could punch out a greeting. Everybody needs dimensionals, right? An adhesive, a block to put some stamps on. And then they have some cardstock and envelopes. They have some ephemera packs where you don't have to have stamps for all of these things. You can punch them out and add them with adhesives. But then they have like these quick and easy, a sentiment for almost anything type thing that you could quickly throw on a card. They also give you some ideas of how to use some of those ephemera packs. And then this is what I really loved. In this corner on page 22, I was pointing it out to the ladies last night. They have a whole bunch of different layouts. So if you're like, I don't know how to put cards together, I don't know other than folding it in half and throwing a greeting on the front of it and maybe a flower or something, here are some different layouts that you could use. And then they show you some of the different families. Here's another one. Here's just because, love and support, saying thanks, birthday. They give you some ideas for every different occasion. It says stamps for all occasions. And then your scrapbooking. And then this is kind of like wrapping it up. So it's tags and it's making things that you can wrap and give to people. The last section, the one that's for the more avid, let me get back to that index page here. That's for the more avid. They really do have it. If I can get to the page again, let's see here. There we go. So it starts with the sweet collections, and then it's got your bundles, the things that are carried over, so the encore products, and then stamping techniques. So if you're wanting to make, let's say a, oh gosh, I don't know, what do they have on here? Picture perfect, change the scene, double play. There's different, like this is going to be your page 81. Let's look here. I don't have them all memorized yet, obviously. Okay, the two-step stamping. Okay, where you've got some different two-step things. They're on, there's a stamp on both sides of the stamp. You can flip it over. Okay, so here you've got more of your kids stuff, scenes, backgrounds, kudos, you know, saying good job. This is more of your, then you've got show appreciation. So there's your thanks. Here's your memories going. So it's kind of broken up by category. And then at the end is going to be your techniques. So if you wanted to make, let's say, a shaker card, here's my shake it up. So here's where I can find all the things I would need for a shaker card. My window sheets, my foam adhesive strips, the stuff that I can put inside the shaker card, some stamp sets that work well using the shaker card. So it's kind of set up by technique. Here's our masking stuff. So I've got my brayer, I've got my masks, I've got my masking paper. I've got all the things that I would need to use for masking all in one area to try to help find it a little bit better. And then at the end, I know some people are like, well, we don't have a page that has like all the papers right now. I'm going to try to put something together, but in the index, if I can get there, they do have, if you look at all of the papers, well, here are my punches. These are the punches that are available. If I look at the papers, they list all of the papers that are available and what page that paper is on. Same thing. Here's my stamp sets. Here are my dies. Here's my ink and coloring. So where can I find a Versamark? It tells me exactly what page to go to. So it is this index in the back is where it's kind of been saving me right now. So, all right, that's enough of that. But I just wanted to at least point that out to try to help you navigate the catalog a little bit better. I couldn't do it before because I couldn't open it up. All right, to start with, the suite that I featured first is the one that I was assigned to create 4 cards with. So I'm like, I better get going, right? And it's the Lily Pond Lane. So this suite of products has designer paper. All of the suites of products do. This one is a 6x6. So you've got, look at these cute little designs that we have here. We've got florals, we've got cattails, we've got ducks and ducklings and all kinds of lily pads with frogs, fish, right? So there's all kinds of things in the paper, all different designs. And then the back, instead of having all those designs, is more patterns. Okay, so we've got a lot of different patterns that we can mix with it. So I'm going to be using one piece of designer paper that has the front and 2 of them from this back side for my card today. The stamp set is Charming Duck Pond. So you have a duck that's facing each direction. You have 2-step stamping where you can stamp the outline. You can put this in a different color to stamp inside. This is the legs and the beak that you could do another color. And they have that for each of the ducks and the duckling. You have your little frog down here and you have the 2-step stamping there. We have sort of the branches and then we've got the little cattails that you can put up there. And then you have some greetings to go with it. And then the other thing in this suite of products, these are called adhesive back dappled dots. There's 2 different sizes and you have peach pie, pretty in pink, and I think this is supposed to be gray granite because that's one of the colors that's in it. I'm pretty sure that's the other color in there. I should have looked that up before I said that, but I'm pretty sure that's what it is. All right, you ready to see a card that I made with this set? I've got 1 done of the 4 that I have to make. I'm going to keep this here so that I have it. I made my card I did this layout for another card in my card buffet, and I decided that I was going to do this layout for my card. So this is a 4 1/4, 4 1/4 by 11. Okay, so this was 11 inches long. It was 11. I scored it at 5.5. And then I cut off 3 inches from it. And that 3 inches that I cut off creates a piece that's 4 1/4 by 3. And we're going to turn that and put it this way on our card. Okay, so all I did was cut this piece off, this 3 inches off, and I'm going to use that to layer it on my card to make sort of a fun fold. All right, I have a piece of designer paper that is 2 1/4. Let me grab it. I've got a couple of pieces of designer paper, so I've got to grab the right one. Well, where is it? Yeah, here it is. 2 1/4 by 4, and I use the Pretty Peacock designer paper. I have a piece of designer paper, and this kind of looks like, I don't know, what would you call that? Like a tweed almost fabric. This is 4 by 5 1/4. Right. And then I have a piece of this designer paper that's 2 3/4 by 4. I just thought it's really busy, but I really, really liked that. All right, let's go ahead. We've got a couple of other things that we have to add. Yeah, Kay, I thought it was a cute set too. It wasn't my first choice, but I think that there's so much that you can do with it. The one die that's in here, I could see almost making a shaker card with that, you know, like putting this as your frame, or you could end up making something where you did a window sheet underneath. I mean, there's a lot of different things that you could do with that. All right. I'm also going to be using, oh, these are so amazing. Spotlight on Nature. This is not 2 sets. This is 1 set of dies. So notice how this has like a little ridge to it, kind of like an embossing around the edge of the circle. This one has more of a floral, a fleur type thing on edge. So it's all different sizes. So what I did was I looked at the size that I needed to put in the center of here, because I was just going to put my stuff right on top of here. And I'm going to show you, let me go back to the catalog. My inspiration from this came from one of the cards that was in the catalog. I did have these. Oh, here, I do have it tabbed. I looked at this one right here. This little, that used that paper, and it had like the die cuts, and it had the duck that was colored in blends. This is kind of my inspiration. So there's that paper. There's that paper. I just added another one. All right. So I decided I needed a circle on here because otherwise my stuff was going to get lost. So the size that I needed was this one that seemed to fit on there perfectly. So my two options, and I'm going to give you the option to pick which one you want me to use today. And I've cut those so that you can see them. We either have this one right here that has those little designs around the edge, or we've got this one that has more of like a little embossing around the edge. So do you like the embossed or the cut? That can be how you vote. Do you like the one that's cut out, or do you like the circle that's embossed? Okay, so if you want yours to be picked, go ahead and vote right now, cut or emboss, and then we'll see what works, what is the most popular, and that's the one that I'll end up using. All right, the other thing that I did was I cut out some of these cattails, lily pad. This is garden green. I'll show you that already. I cut out a couple of flowers. You can cut out 2 at a time. I did 2 of them in Pretty in Pink and 1 in Peach Pie, the littler one. I have 3 of these that I cut out. And then the other thing that we're going to vote on, it looks like everybody likes the cut out one. That's what I chose too when I made it. Look at that. We either have, and I can show you once I have it done and you can vote later, but we're going to vote on which color banner we want for our greeting. All right, I kind of jumped the gun and showed you this, but we have I chose the duck that is going in this direction, and all I did was stamp it on a piece of, oh, that's not my scrap paper. Ooh. That's my scrap paper. This is another piece of paper that you need that's going to be the same size as this. So it's 2 3/4 by 4 inches. That's going to be for our inside. Almost forgot about that. So this has a die cut that you can die. Oh, Betty's getting rain already by them. That means it's probably coming this way. Yeah, it's starting to get a little bit grayer outside here as well. Okay, I'm going to get rid of my black ink, and we're going to color this. Now I'm going to color the one that I cut out already. And I kind of looked at the catalog to see how in the world did they color that duck. I noticed that I decided, since I was going to be, and my paper had peach pie, I was going to do the beak and the feet in peach pie rather than, usually I do pumpkin pie, but I'm opting for peach pie today instead. Keeping it with the pies. We got pecan pie, we got peach pie, we've got pumpkin pie. We're getting a whole bunch of different types of pie colors. All right, then I am going to take my I'm going to make sure I have the dark granny apple green, and I'm just going to kind of color along the side here for some shading. And then I'm going to take the light one and I want to blend that. And you do need them to be just still a little bit, I don't know if you want to say wet, but just recently done in order for it to blend really nice. So that's why I did that before I went and did any more with the dark. So I'm going to do some dark in here and I'm going to come back with the light and blend that in. And I'm going to do the same thing over here. Just trying to look to see how they did it in the catalog, and I'll hold it up so you can see this a little bit better. All right, and then this side, kind of like the, I don't know if that would be the breast of the duck, this top part. I'm going to do that to bring in that pink color. I decided to do that in pretty in pink. And then I have crumb cake. And I'm just going to do this in the darker crumb cake. And then I'm going to come back in and blend it with the lighter crumb cake. All right, and so let me hold that up. That's what my duck is going to look like. All right, so I can put these away. I do have a little stamping that I'm going to do on here. Let me, let's go ahead and look at what this is going to look like. I think the cut one won. So this is going to be our cut one. We're going to put some of these cattails in here like this. Wow. Okay. And then we're going to put our lily pads. I'm just going to dry fit this for right now. These have to come up a little bit. There we go. And we'll throw one up there. Then our duck is going to go on there. And then we have to decide, do we want peach pie for our greeting? It's going to say happy birthday. Or do we want pretty in pink? So peach or pink is your next vote. Okay, so this is what the pink's going to look like. That's what the peach is going to look like with that. And it's going to be going on, well, that you can see that as the background. And that's going to be going on here. So do you like the peach or do you like the pink? Pink or peach? All right, while you are voting on that, I'm going to take my inside. Oh, I never put the cover back on my blend. Did anybody see that? All right, we are going to take the Pretty Peacock ink and I'm going to stamp sort of the greens of my cattails. And then I'm going to do, that's what those are, right? Cattails. I'm going to take the peach pie. I'm going to stand for this one and try to match this up. Pretty good. And then on the inside, I'm going to say, it's going to say happy birthday on the outside. And the inside, have a lovely day. And instead of putting it up here, I decided let's just put it down here. That'll give me all of this space up here to write a little message. Sometimes I like to just mix it up that way a little bit so it's not always in the same, the center of the card. Ooh, pretty in pink with a peach pie shadow. That's what Kelly's offering. So she's saying, stamp it on the pretty in pink and then kind of shadow it with the peach pie, kind of like there's peach pie and there is pretty in pink in there. What do you guys think of that? Should we try both of them and do a little shadow of it and have that kind of sticking out and shadowing it? I don't know. We could also cut it in half and have just a little bit coming out on that end and a little bit coming out on that end. Lots of different options here, but I like that idea of incorporating both of them and kind of having that as a shadow. Let's try that. I hadn't thought of that. All right, let's get our pretty peacock ink again. And let's take our happy birthday. And if I mess this up, then we're going to do peach pie. That looks pretty good, considering I was doing it over a camera. Like the shadow. Ooh, I like the shadow. Okay, look, see, Kelly, you could be doing this for me. They all love the shadow. Awesome. Okay, let's go ahead and put this baby together. So this bigger, I should say more muted design is going to be our background on the inside. Our pretty peacock is going to be up here, bringing that color in. Okay, and this will add on after. We decided against this. We are going to attach this to the pink. And I'm going to put a strip up here, and I'm going to put a strip on here so that I don't go down too far. And that looks good there. And now I can also attach this, and I like to, so it's got to go this way. So I'm going to line this up on here so that it's straight. And then I'm just going to close it so that it for sure covers that. Whoops. All right, now to build our little piece here that's going to be our central piece of our card. All right, we're going to grab a little glue, liquid glue. And we'll just add a little bit of liquid glue. Everybody's liking the shadow, I think. So hopefully, I think that's the way we're going to go here. I'm going to put this up here. I'm moving it over just a little bit from my sample because my sample, I tried to copy what was in the book and it was over more to the left. And I'm like, ooh, I wish I had moved that a little more center. So I'm centering this a little bit more than I did on my sample card. So hopefully it turns out okay. Sometimes I don't like making changes like that because I don't know how it's going to turn out, but I think that this is going to work. And we'll add just a little more glue to this one. So 2 of these are cut out at a time. So, and like I said, all of those get cut out at the same time with the same die. So we've got our background here. We will throw our little, I did put those on dimensionals. I'm like, I think I put those on dimensionals. Where are my mini dimensionals though? Do not see them. We're gonna just cut some big ones because I don't know what I did with my minis. just cut one there and there. Just gonna put that like that. We'll put one more. I've been watching. Okay, there weren't any comments. Okay, good. All of a sudden, I'm like, I haven't looked at any comments for a while. Oh, Lila is dreaming right now. You probably can't hear her. She's in the other room and she's sleeping. And it's like she's barking at another dog. It cracks me up when she does that. All right, I'm going to set my duck up like that. And then this we were going to layer. Or shadow it a little bit. Okay, so I'm just like having that be a little bit of a shadow to it. And we'll pop our duck up. And I'm just going to throw a little bit of glue down here. Helps if you take the other side off of the dimensional. And then, whoops, put it in the right place. Should really, oh, you know what? Here, nope, those are big ones too, but at least I can cut these. I have all big ones sitting around here, no minis. I had to have had minis because I used them this morning. Because I didn't make this card until this morning because my stamps didn't come until yesterday. And I had my card buffet last night and this morning. So the ladies all got to see the stuff last night. The box got here as they were all arriving for card buffet. And they're like, oh, yay, we get to see all the stuff. So they got to see all the new stuff there. Oh, I like how that looks when it's layered. That looks awesome. Okay, now we're going to go ahead and throw some dimensionals on here. We're not done yet. I got those flowers sitting over there. I didn't forget about them. Pop that up on dimensionals too. All right, so he's going to go right there in the center. And then I put these on glue dots, and I'm just going to, here it is, Wink of Stella them before we put them on there. So I'm just running my Wink of Stella brush over this. And for those of you who have never seen Wink of Stella, it's basically just adding, I don't know if you can see that, but it's adding some glitter to those flowers. I don't think you can really see that, but well, trust me, they shine. And we're just going to throw couple of these. Oh, now that I spread this out a little bit, I'm going to put one over on this side too. And then we'll throw one of these up in here. Where do I want it over here? Maybe I want it over there. Okay, so we've got some pink, some peach pie. And let's go ahead and add just a couple of these gems. I think I'm going to do, now that I switched mine up, I'll show you what mine looked like. We'll put one down there. And maybe we'll throw another little one down there. Okay, so there is our finished card. Isn't that cute? So I think I'm gonna like this little duck set here. Great idea, Kelly, with putting the label like that. Here was the one that I made this morning. So see how all of my cattails were a little bit more to the left, because that's how it was in that picture in the catalog, and I wanted it to fill the screen a little bit more. I had done it just on peach pie, and then I put my dots up there. And you know what? I couldn't remember if I put the lily pads on dimensionals or not. I did not on here, and put the happy birthday over the top of them. So however you like that, if you like that better. So there is my first card using that suite of products. I have to make 3 more and then I have, well, not design 3 more, and then I have to make, I think I have to make 9 of each one. So that's not too bad. You know what? I didn't bring anything here to decorate. Let's see what we got here. Let's take, why don't we take the, should we take this and put this on it? Or do we want to take one of the other ones and have one of the ducks? Let's see what we got. This kind of looks like, well, no, I did mine more in a crumb cake. Should I put some of the ducks on there? I think I'm going to go with these. Let me just cut this real quick. All right, we'll cut a little piece off and add that so that the person who wins this will have a decorated envelope to go with their card. There we go. So we were talking today at my card buffet that, you know, I'm always attracted to the flowers in the catalog, right? And it's like, okay, I've got so many flowers, right? And I feel like I'm always sending cards with flowers, but I love flowers. So sometimes it's nice to have something a little bit different that isn't always a flower to send in a card. And that's kind of a cute little card that could be sent. I think you could almost make this masculine or feminine. It could go to almost a child because the colors, the way you color it and stuff. I think it could be used for a lot of different things. So that is our first card and my first attempt at using the Lily Pond Lake. No, Lily, what is it called? Give you the right name. I should know it because it's the one. Charming Duck Pond is the name of the stamp set. And the designer series paper is called, I have it right here, Lily Pond Lane. I was right, Lily Pond Lane. All right, so there is card number 1. The second suite of products that I decided to use is a floral one, of course. Oh, look at this wildly flowering. This reminded me a lot of the sunflower paper that we just had, as well as, I think it was 2 years ago, we had a celebration paper that looked like this. So I'm going to go ahead and show you this in real life, or at least on a computer or phone, whatever you're watching it on, tablet. Okay, so here is that paper. What, right? Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Beautiful paper. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yep, I got the 6 sheets. So we've got some Misty Moonlight, some Wild Wheat, some Moody Mauve, some Early Espresso, and I don't even know which greens are in there. I'd have to look that up. And then you flip it over, and they're a little bit more muted patterns on the back. Okay, so there is your beautiful paper. This embossing folder is going to be my favorite, my new favorite. Distress Tile has been my favorite, along with that Hatch one that you can get in the essential embossing folders on the online exclusives. This has just surpassed both of those. It is gorgeous. I love that. Stamp set has some nice things. You've been on my mind, sending happy thoughts. Thank you. Has some kind of like sketched drawings of some flowers. And then the dies have these, and you can see the colors that I chose for my card, because when you cut these out, not only do you get, so when I cut this out, it's going to give me this frame, but it's also going to give me the part that's on the inside. So you can go ahead and you can mix and match these with a variety of different colors. So here you can kind of see, I cut this one out in Moody Mauve and I cut it out in white. So I have the white little scallopy part left, and I have the inside Moody Mauve left because I did just the opposite on my card. Okay, so this is super, super cool dies that go along, that make these fun labels that you can use. And then they also have the dies to cut out the floral images that are in there. So I'm just sticking this in here because who knows, if I make another card, I might want to use that border that I didn't use in my card. I didn't want to just throw it away because it was pretty enough to use. I mean, they're good enough to use on a different card. All right, let me set this aside. Let me pull in my supplies. I have my sample over here. The ladies who were here with doing my card buffet this morning, as I was designing this one while they were here, I kept going in there and saying, does this look okay? Do you like this? Would you do this? So they kind of helped me with designing this as well. So we are going to start with a layer. Our card base is going to be Early Espresso. And let me get my banners here so I can give you some measurements. Okay, so this is 4 1/4 by 11. I scored it at 2 3/4 and at 5 1/2. Okay, so it's going to be, it's a Z-fold card that is going to pull out like that. All right, I have a layer of basic white that measures 4 by 5 1/4. Right, I have 2 pieces of basic white that measure 2 1/2 by 4. Okay, so I've got 2 of those. I have some Moody Mauve that measures 3 7/8 by 5 1/8. And yes, look at that embossing folder. Is that not gorgeous, right? So cool. I love it. Okay, and then I have some of the designer series paper. I have 2 of these. There we go. That measure 2 3/8 by 3 7/8. Okay, so we'll be using these on our card. And I don't know that there is a right or wrong way. I kept moving them around when I was putting the cards together and I couldn't figure one out. So I don't think that there's a right or a wrong way to that paper. All right, I took that largest frame and I cut it out in Early Espresso. That's why you had that little frame that was left over. I didn't want that. I just wanted this inside piece of it. Then I ran that scalloped one through with Moody Mauve. So that fits right inside of there like that. And then I ran it through with basic white to give me the label that goes inside of there so that I can stamp on that. I also ran that largest one through with basic white for my inside. Okay, so those are all of the pieces that I need for this card. And before we put it together, we have a little bit of stamping to do on this piece and on this piece and on a scrap. And we've got a little bit of coloring to do as well. So this is really going to be using, that set could be used for a Mother's Day. Yes. Oh, a man's card. Yes, man's card. I thought it said mom's card. And I'm like, yeah, it could be, this could be a Mother's Day card. Yep. I think you were talking about the duck one, that it could be a man's card. Absolutely. All right, let's go ahead and Let me get the right. I've got 2 stamp sets sitting here. I'm like, let me grab from the right one. All right, we are going to, for the outside layer, which is this one, we are going to use You've Been on My Mind. And I'm going to stamp it off to the right so that we could use one of those floral images and add that on the left-hand side. So You've Been on My Mind. And then on the inside, I just wanted to do Sending Happy Thoughts. So if somebody's on your mind, you're hoping that you could leave this blank if you wanted to. I thought, well, I could say I'm sending you some happy thoughts. And then I'm going to take this floral image and I'm just going to stand up so I can see what I'm doing. And put that right down in the lower corner. And I'm also going to stamp that on my scrap. And I'm doing that not in Memento, but I'm actually doing that in Early Espresso. And while I have it out here, let's stamp one of those on the front of our envelope as well. Okay, that's all the stamping we need to do. And now we're going to do a little bit of coloring. And I actually, in my envelope, I did cut out that flower. Here it is. Instead of coloring this one, I'm going to color the one that I die cut out with the coordinating dies. And I'm using some light Moody Mauve. And I'm just going to bring that in for the petals of my flower. Oh, you know what? I forgot. I needed to grab a marker from one of the sets. I can go do that in just a second that I had in my card buffet. I used it while they were using it today, and I have to go back. I wanted to do a little dab. I can show you. Move this up a little bit. Right at the base here, I wanted to do a little bit of wild wheat because there is just a little bit of wild wheat in this paper, if you look really closely. So I'm going to go ahead and color these with that Moody Mauve. And I'm really just lightly adding just a little bit of color. I don't have to be I don't have to get like every spot of it. It's okay if there's just a little bit of white that's showing in it. You can kind of see it's not completely necessarily colored in. I'm going to slide this into the envelope so that my color doesn't run through to the other side. And again, I'm just going to lightly brush over that. Okay, and then I felt like the leaves just needed a little bit. So this is we have like skin tones. This is the darkest of the skin tone blends that we have. And I just used, again, it doesn't have to be colored in fully, but I'm just kind of adding a little bit of that brown color to some of the petals or leaves. Yeah, I really like the mauve, and someone said I like that color combination. I really like the mauve and the Early Espresso. I like how it goes together. I also I felt like it needed something a little bit more, and that's why I threw that white in there with it, because it does have the white flowers in there. I felt it needed something to help it pop a little bit because it looked a little bit, I don't want to say dreary or drab, but it just needed something to help it just pop a tad. So that's why I threw those layers of white in there. Along with it. Yeah, it's really black here now. I think we're going to get some rain here soon. Betty, it must have moved from where you are to where we are now. Okay, I think we are ready to put this together. This is going to go together actually pretty fast. It's a fun fold, an easy fun fold, I should say. And sometimes I've done it with my background being a paper, like a designer paper. This time I decided to let that embossing folder do the work of instead of a designer paper. So we're going to layer this onto the white, and I just left, it's an 1/8 of an inch difference. So it's really just a little 1/16 of an inch border all the way around the side or all the sides. So that white is just peeking through a little bit. Everyone knows I love layers, and I just felt like it needed something. It couldn't just be the pink on the brown. It needed that little bit of white to help it pop. And look at that embossing on there. Is that not the coolest? All right, then we're going to take our 2 designer papers and we're going to layer them because they have that white floral as well. I thought about doing the other side of this paper, but because the piece that I was going to be cutting was only like 2 3/8 inches wide, I felt like you can't even really tell what that is on that side because the flowers were so big. So I felt like it needed these littler flowers. And I'm doing 2 of these because I decided I wanted it on each of these panels so that when you open up, you could see it on that panel as well. All right, so we'll go ahead and throw one of these. And they don't have to match. I don't even know that I cut them right next to, oh, Betty said it's still raining there. I don't even know that these are pieces of paper that were right next to each other. I just kind of cut them. Okay, so there is the base of our card, and it will pull out like that. All right, and then we are going to layer this Moody Mauve inside of our early espresso one. I love how these just kind of all layer on top of each other. I thought that was so cool. Oh, it's raining in Clintonville too. Yeah, it's coming here. I don't think I have that even. Let's see here. Pay attention to what I'm doing here. There we go. And then this will slide right inside of there. And you could, if you wanted to, you could pop it up on dimensionals. I decided I wanted the little flower on the side to be popped up on dimensionals. So I left this the same level, and then we're going to pop that up on the side there and add a little ribbon to it as well. Or I don't know what that stuff is even called. Jute trim we're going to add to it. I think I can use a regular size one here. I don't have to cut it. All right, so that's just going to go on the side by our greeting. And then this is just going to go here. And then when we pull this out, it's going to open up into this one that we did. That's not okay. So I'm going to attach this one first by just adding adhesive to this first little section here. And then I will add a little bit so that it goes right up to the edge there. Okay, and just like I did with the last one to kind of see where this needs to go, I ended up putting my glue on the inside piece. And this I didn't make any smaller. I made it the same size. So I want to make sure that I have this lined up. I'm going to bring it this way so I can see that it's lined up. Kind of hold that in place and then close that. And it should be right where you need it to be so that it doesn't show through. What? Oh, right. Okay. Now, hello, Karen. Oh, thanks, Diane. Now we're going to take some of these textured dots and the texture on it. I'll hold them up to the camera so you can hopefully see. Can you see like there's like little dots and stuff in there? They kind of look like the centers of flowers. I'm just going to take a couple of those and add them to some of the white space that's on this card. So I'm going to, oops, come on. There we go. I'm going to put one down here. I think I need more putty on here. There we go. That helps. And then we'll throw one up there. And one down there. And I felt like it still needed a little bit more. So this is this carried over from our annual catalog last year to this year. And this is some of the jute trim in the in colors, last year's in colors. And I don't know where I did have, here it is. Like I did have one that was almost gone. I just kind of have a couple of packs here thrown together. And this jute trim can be just a little bit thick. And I thought it was a little bit thick for this card. So to make it look a little bit less heavy, I guess. My mom and I were kind of talking about this. She was adding some ribbon to some treat boxes that we made for the bridal shower that we're doing for my niece. And she sent me a picture and she said, "What do you think of this?" And I said, there was no way for me to really explain it other than it looked like it was too heavy for the paper and stuff like that. And I don't know if heavy is the right thing. It looked like it was too thick or too whatever. So I just pulled some of this off, and you can use like, I like how that looks, how it's kind of like airy and stuff. Same thing here. It's a lot thinner and not quite as thick. And so I'm going to go ahead and I thought I brought my bow maker here. I guess I didn't bring it in here. I thought I did. We're just going to make one without it. I was going to make a double bow, but we'll just make a single bow. Okay, I just want something real small. Nothing real big. Trim off these ends a little bit. And we'll take a glue dot and roll it up into a little ball. I can do that with my take your pick tool and set it about where I want the knot for my ribbon to be, which is about right there. And then push that knot right into that glue dot to hold it in place. Okay, so that's taking the new and adding some of our old jute trim that was in that color to our card. So here we have You've Been on My Mind, sending happy thoughts. And we've got an envelope that matches it. And that is all ready to go with some of our new product. So what do you think of the wildly, what is it, wildly flowering? I think that's what it's called. Wildly flowering. is what the name of the suite is. So it's got the embossing folder, those cool gems. It's got the stamp set, and then those really cool frames that layer on top of each other. Okay, so Wildly Flowering and Lily Pad Lane, Lily Pond Lane, Lily Pad Lane, I think it is, are two of the new suites. We also have our Spotlight on Nature dies that are featured in there as well. This has a really cool stamp set that goes with it that has some tulips and a butterfly. It's just gorgeous, but I at least wanted to give you a sneak peek at some of the stuff that you maybe haven't seen yet because you saw it in the catalog, but nobody's been able to get their hands on it until this last week when the catalog went live. I think this paper was out there because some people won that at a Stamping Up event, but the rest of this stuff hasn't been available until now. All right, let me come back to you. Here I am. There I go. All right. It's so different with my lights off, right? I'm not sure if I will be live next Saturday. So I have my nephew's graduating from law school at Madison on Friday, and I'm going to that with my mom and dad. And then Saturday, my other godson, my nephew, is graduating from MSOE in Milwaukee. So we're going to be in Madison on Friday, Milwaukee on Saturday. The graduation isn't until 1, but we were talking about going early and grabbing something to eat before the event instead of after the event. So I might have to postpone till Sunday. I will keep you posted on my Facebook page as to when I'll be going live. I think that if you, somewhere in YouTube, you can be notified so that anytime that I go live, you get notified. I think maybe if you subscribe to my channel, that happens as well. I'm not exactly sure how all of that works. I know that some of the channels that I subscribe to, all of a sudden I'll get a little pop-up that says the person just went live, and it'll be like, oh yeah, that's right. So that would be one way to know, or if you're on Facebook, I'll let you know on Facebook. So all right, I hope that you have enjoyed the rest of your weekend. I hope you can find some time to be creative. I'm going to go look at the place where we're having the shower with my mom in a little bit. And we've got to go get a frame for a sign. And we've got to do a couple of other things for the shower because, oh my gosh, it's June 2nd. So it's less than a month away. So I hope that you guys have a great weekend. Thank you so much for joining me. I do enjoy my time with you on Saturday mornings normally, but today's Saturday afternoon. And I look forward to being with you again, hopefully next weekend sometime. Have a good weekend. Bye-bye.